Hello, this is a quick video about a Darksword Armory 13th century arming sword, and keep in mind this is one of the older versions. Here are some specifications if you're interested about the length, size, and all of that goodness. I was originally planning on doing a review of this sword. Unfortunately, this version and the current version available from Darksword Armory are very different from one another, so it's not really representative of what you could go buy today, so I'm just going to sell it. Now that said, you may also be interested, if you're a Darksword Armory fan, to look at some of the photos here and you can judge for yourself how they may have improved or evolved over time in terms of their craftsmanship and attention to detail. The grip is still in reasonably good order. In fact, the leather is held up pretty well over time. The grip does move just a little bit, but you have to wiggle the pommel or crossguard in order to feel the slightest bit of movement. However, it is there and should be noted. Unfortunately, the crossguard has a pretty sizable gap between the blade and the crossguard itself. Along with that, the crossguard wiggles a little bit. The peen also looks a little haphazard, but it's doing the job of holding the handle on reasonably well, and it doesn't exactly move around at all. It's kind of big, but the shape is also pleasing. When I move it around, it doesn't crush my wrist, even though it looked like it could leave a good star mark in someone's forehead. The blade is not sharp, and the dulling on the blade is, well, it has a profile that looks like it would take an edge reasonably well. It's dull, but it's not so dull that you could never put an edge on it, and it seems like the steel would probably take an edge reasonably well. The blade is carbon steel, and you can tell that by all the rust all over the blade. There's a lot of rust on the blade, lots of nicks, dings, pings, scratches, but overall the blade is still straight and in reasonably good order for smashing things. The blade also comes with a scabbard. The scabbard is pretty rough. There's dings and pings in the leather, but more than that, the additional little metal pieces really don't seem to be put on with a lot of attention to detail. There's lots of gaps and little areas that I don't even know if this scabbard honestly was original to the blade, but it does hold the blade reasonably well. It doesn't fall out super easy. It has to be shaken a little bit. It's just kind of rough around the edges in terms of overall craftsmanship and general appearance. The blade itself moves pretty well. It feels stout and heavy in the hand, but not unmanageably so. I would say that for a blade of its size, it's definitely on the heavier feeling. The blade's also dull, so I cut a couple water bottles with it, but frankly it doesn't really cut through them very well. It smashes them pretty good though. That's all I really have for you on this Darksword Armory 13th century arming sword. Cheers, and thanks for watching.